Word. All right, happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to the Builders Best Practices call. Just for context, we do this on the first and third Tuesdays of every month, and it is based on agent attraction. And we like to talk about different things. I do have a topic for today, but if there is something specific that you guys would like to discuss, if you would please drop that in the chat for me. That way I can make sure that I bring it up at some point on today's call. And welcome. If you have the ability to be on video, I would love to see your smiling, wonderful faces this morning. It's much better for me to interact with that if it's possible at all. Otherwise, if you're driving, please be safe because that makes me a nervous wreck. So I try to make sure that you're safe. Hang on just a second. I've got a couple more folks coming in, and one of those is my assistant, so I'm going to make her co-host so that she can let folks in while I am getting started. Hang on one second. Make co-host. Hi, Laura. I've just made you co-host so you can let folks in. Keep an eye on it for me. All right. Good morning, everybody. So I came today because I was thinking about something as I have been working on agent attraction quite a bit, especially just a little bit more so in the last couple of weeks, and thinking about who I'm talking to, who I'm looking for specifically. And for those of you that don't know, I'm also a coach. I'm a master coach with Workman Success Systems. We coach a lot of teams and brokerages all across the country. And I do coach a lot on recruiting and agent attraction. And it made me think about a week ago about one of my clients, and she owned 3 RE/MAX brokerages. And at the time, she was struggling just a little bit with sort of pinpointing who she was looking for. And she was just sort of like spaghetti at the wall. She was like, oh, I'm just recruiting. And I was like, well, who are we talking to? Who are we looking for? What's happening? And she was like, I don't know, just when I go out, I'm just talking to people and I'm just thinking about, having conversations with them. And I was like, well, that feels like a very like disjointed approach to what we could be doing here. So when we sat down and talked about it, gosh, maybe it was a year ago, I said, do you have a target list of one, what kind of agents you're looking for specifically for your brokerage? And 2, then creating a list of actual people that you would like to get. So the first thing we're going to talk about is that target list of who we're looking for as far as what type of agent specifically. So the first thing I want to talk about is it something that you're looking for with regards to, and some of us here, like Leo and Casey, you have larger organizations that offer training, that offer the opportunity for development and things like that, right? So when you're looking for folks, there are a couple of different kinds and I'm going to go over these. So if you want to take notes, I encourage you to do so. I'm going to name several different types of agents that you can go and put on that target list of who that you're looking for. So the first one is full-time income agents. These are people who are in real estate full-time. This is what they do, more than 30 hours a week. I'm going to laugh at that because that's funny, full-time being 30 hours a week in real estate. I was like, that is like part-time. I'm trying to think of the last time I only worked 30 hours a week. But, so those are full-time agents. That's them generating the income necessary to support their family and their life. Okay, this is their only gig. That is a full-time income agent. Okay, so that is if you're targeting that kind of person. Now, let's talk about what those people need from who they are joining. Anybody have a thought before I just kind of give it to you? And I like to do interactive, so I don't like to just speak at you. Anybody have a thought about what somebody who is a full-time income agent, somebody who does this full-time to support their family, what do they need from who they are with?
They
And
need
this
a
could be,
they
go
need
ahead.
a clear strategy to generate listing leads so they can spend, because usually the full-time agents, that are past 30 years of age, or 35 plus, you know, they have families and they need a clear-cut strategy to increase value to their time. That's done, in my opinion, through geofarming. So I believe they need a brand name that makes them easy to remember, find, and choose so they can be considered to go on listing appointments both online and in real life. and have a clear plan to consistently generate local listing leads so they can live a local listing agent lifestyle. I think that's all they need. I think that's all they've ever needed. And I guess my question to you, since you coach a lot of big dog teams, it seems like 5% of the agents out of, let's say, 95% of them understand it's all about the local market share and controlling local listings. And it's always been that way for me in my career for the last 15 years. But it seems like in the post-NAR era, that's like the only, route. So I feel like in order to thrive, it's like you just need a clear and concise plan specifically through geofarming to consistently generate the address of a homeowner thinking of selling. That's what I think.
It can be, absolutely. Well, first, I want to speak to what you said because you were on the money. They definitely need skills development, high level skills development. When somebody this is their full-time gig and this is what they do to support their family, they are looking for some place, a community, a brokerage that's going to offer them to continue to develop their skills to
Right.
keep that coming in, right? So that's what they're looking
got me. That's how Leo got me. He was all about, he was one of the first guys I've ever interacted with that was, oh shit, sorry, there's a dead squirrel there. I fell out of a tree.
Oh.
Well, focus. Stormy, get out of there. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But no, that's what it got me was the personal development and all that.
Yep. The next thing is exactly what the other thing that you hit on, which was time and life mastery. Time and life mastery. How do we help them with that? And the reason that I'm bringing these things up with the needs guys is because when you are doing this kind of agent attraction, you're giving them that value proposition. That's what you're speaking to, right? Again, not spaghetti against the wall. You're going after a specific type of agent and you are speaking the language that is going to be impactful to them. Okay, we're not saying the same things to everybody because it's not, as we go through this list, you're going to see it's not going to be the same for everybody. It's going to be a little bit different. So when you are starting to make your list of who and why, your language has to change as a result. Do we offer all of these things? Absolutely. But your language changes as a result of what these kinds of people need. In this case, you're saying, great, we have high-level skills development for you. Welcome to our community. Here are examples of classes that we do, events that we host as a result of this. This is what we're looking for as we see things changing with NAR, right? This is what we're doing and this is what we provide. And time and life mastery, absolutely, same thing, right? This is what we're doing as well. First of all, I love all kinds of efficiencies, and there are a couple of us here that are all about the AI situation. Creating, yes, Leo and I are both like, yes, 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 all the things to make our lives more efficient. But that's the language that you start to speak because now that's creating like that moment in their mind that you're like, oh, that's important to me, right? So you have to start thinking about who it is that you're recruiting, who it is that you're attracting, and what it is their needs analysis becomes the language that you speak when you're speaking to them, right? You're going to shift gears. Okay. So I'm sure your name is not Mr. Claremont. I just feel weird calling you that.
It's Anthony.
Anthony. Okay. Anthony. Thank you for that. Okay. Then the next one is full-time activity agents. Okay. Different, very different, still important. These are full-time agents who are still working in the business full-time, but their income is actually not necessary to support their family. Okay. It's not necessary to support the household. So their motivation to produce is not as high. They are there. We all know them. Okay. They're absolutely out there. It might be that they just love it. It supports second homes or vacations or whatever it is. They're out there, but their motivation to produce might not be the exact same thing. Anybody have a thought on what their needs might be, where they show up, where they choose to go ahead.
Community and belonging, significance, and yeah, they want to be part of a tribe.
Networking and social activities, right?
Yeah, no, because when you like, when you're, I guess when you're like an artesian agent and you do 20 to 30 million in production, it's a lonely ride out there. Like you're a lone wolf. And then I think like all the agents in your media area, your competition. So I think the community aspect's huge because I mean, that's how Leo got me. I mean, that's how he pulled me in. And then when he gave all his, spiritual coaching, basically approaching real estate from a holistic approach, I've never met anyone like that. But I think, yeah, the whole community, for me, like, I didn't even understand. I still don't really understand the rev share, how it completely works, but I like giving my money to EXP because I know it goes to guys like Leo and people like you that just give me knowledge and information to get better. But as you guys say that, I mean, yeah, community was just really big for me because I've been a lone rider my whole life. And I think, yeah, the real estate business is a pretty lonely business when you really think about it,
It can be. It can
Sorry,
be.
I'm just the living example, just kind of
Oh,
processing.
I love it, Anthony. I love it. And guys, the rest of you, feel free to chime in at any point. I like this to be very interactive, so don't just sit there quiet. So it's important to, again, just kind of speak to that need, right? That's the beauty of what I see with EXP and even with our own communities, right? That we have here represented today, is there's so much of this social aspect, this community aspect where you don't really feel alone. You feel like you have something, you feel where you can like check in where you want to, connect where you want to, plug into different things. And we have so many different options available to us that make you feel like you can be a part of something. That's what they're looking for. They're still producing. They're just producing for a different reason, right? It doesn't make them any less great as an agent. It just means that their motivation is different, right? Different. Casey always says something it's always impactful to me. And the other day I couldn't remember the third one, and I was talking to her, so I actually took it and printed it out on one of those little label makers and put it on my monitor. And she said, people are always looking for money, recognition, or impact. Money, recognition, or impact, right? So when you look at someone like this, they're not in it for the money. Chances are they're looking in it for the recognition, or they could be doing it because they want it for the impact, right? They might be doing this because they donate, right? They might be very involved with their church or their community and donating back. We don't know, but you dig in, right? And they might still, it could, like, listen, I've known a lot of stay-at-home moms that got into real estate because they just wanted to be involved in something and they were bored. And they became really killer real estate agents, like incredible agents, but they wanted to be connected to something because they were like, hello, if I stay at home for one more second, I'm going to lose my mind. Like they still had other things that they were doing, but they wanted a community and they wanted to be a part of something. So you have to just figure out what that is. Again, your languaging changes based on what their needs are. Okay. So those are another group of people that you can connect.
When you say recognition, that means having someone there to like give them a pat on the back or acknowledge their success. But then recognition also means like a greater belonging to like, so recognition, I guess I'm trying to understand the full definition. So it's just being acknowledged for achievements through the community that you create, but then also just being a part of a greater whole. Is that what you mean?
Recognition can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. So it could be that it's recognition for contributing, in some way to their community. It could be recognition that they iconed. It could be recognition that they capped. It could just be recognition that they are out there doing something versus like, again, I'm going to speak to being, I was a stay-at-home for like 7 years. It was the longest 7 years of my entire life because I've always worked. It was just like, and it was just recognition of getting back into something and feeling like you were doing something.
Being
right?
an adult,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I have 3 daughters under 5, so I get it. And it's like, just being a professional and being out there.
Yep. So recognition can mean a lot of different things for different people.
Right.
It's really what's important to them. So it just varies. But that's why when you're attracting someone who is in that position, you're digging deeper, right? You're asking about what's important to them so that you can determine what that needs analysis is and finding out ways that we can help them, ways that we can connect with them. What do we have that can help you with that? What's our value proposition that's going to like make you feel connected and recognized if that's what yours is, right?
Right.
Again.
Okay.
Still a very valuable agent, still highly producing, just in it for a different reason, right? Okay, the next one is part-time income agents that work less than 30 hours a week, but still rely on the income that they generate from real estate to support their household. Okay, so these are the folks that are maybe not doing it full time. They might have another job. We see a lot of these, right? A lot of these folks. And their needs are mentorship, training, and ideally broker support on demand. Okay, this is a lot of what we see. These are folks maybe trying to get out of another profession, move into real estate full time, and they're needing the most support. This is most of what we see with people kind of calling us directly. I don't know about you guys, but me. That's people like, oh, I want to stop doing this and I want to do this. I've been doing it part-time. I want to make the full transition over, but I'm over at XYZ brokerage and I'm not getting the support that I need. I feel like I don't get enough answers to my questions. I had one the other day and she was with a very small brokerage and she's like, I call, nobody ever responds to anything I need. Right? So they're looking for much more support. Okay, so again, you're speaking to what are our training opportunities? What kind of classes do we have? What does broker support look like, right? What does that look like for them? You're speaking that language. I like to go into how many brokers do we have in California? You have the 1-800 number, you drop into eXp World, right? You start talking about all of the things that can give them that kind of support. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? Like when you start creating a target list of who it is that you're trying to attract, what you're talking about has to shift. Okay? Because otherwise, what happens is, and I hate using this term, but it's real, you EXP all over everybody. If you talk about all the things to every single person, it's too much. We have a lot. We offer a lot. And if you're like, blah, 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 these are all the things that we offer, literally smoke comes out of their ears. So you have to like just sort of fine tune it. Absolutely, it's going to be wonderful that we have all of those things. At one point, it's all going to be great for them. But focus on the one thing that initially is going to get them over that little hump of like, wow, that alone would be enough to bring me over. And then introduce them to all of the other amazing things after we've got them past that initial hurdle of, if I could just get a little bit of help right here, that would make my life so much easier. Exactly. Find the pain point. Thank you, Greg. Don't throw up on them. The biggest mistake, and that is exactly what I told you about my client, right? The Remax brokerage. She was vomiting. I asked her, I said, I'm coming in. Like we were on Zoom and I said, I'm a recruit. Recruit me. Right? It was like pure word vomit. I mean, I just sat. I don't even think I got to say 7 words. You know, and it was just like vomit, 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 everything that she offered. And I got done and I said, I think I need some time to think about this. And she said, what? But look at all these things we offer. And I said, yeah, it's a lot to digest. It's a lot to digest. You know, exactly how an agent would have responded. And I like pretended to get up and walk away. And she said, why did you do that? And I said, because it was so much. You didn't even ask me what I wanted. You didn't ask me what I'm not getting where I am, what I feel like would make a difference for me. Not once, right? And really, there's usually just one thing that'll get them right over that hump. The rest of the stuff is gravy. It's all good, but it depends on the kind of agent. So when you're making that target list, and guys, I'm not saying that you can't recruit every single kind of agent that I'm talking to you about right now. Just change your discussion with every single one of them so that you're not throwing up the same conversation on every single one.
It's like a listing appointment. You treat it like a listing appointment and you don't prescribe anything until you listen and diagnose first.
Exactly.
So we're just here to diagnose. Because I make this mistake. Like, well, I haven't started recruiting yet, but I'm learning and observing, but to just be so excited about everything you know. But yeah, you just got to ask the right questions. And then from there, just pivot. That makes sense. I guess another question I have, like, because a lot of different, what I'm still in the observing phase before, I hit it hard. It's like, what I like about where we're at with the Dream Chasers is like Leo has a certain style, right? But he's Mr. Cali. He's part of the DLE network too. Then Mr. Irvine is Felix Hung, and he's got a different style and a different training. And then you got Mr. LA, Joseph Trujillo, different style and but they all do their Zooms and stuff. So I guess when I'm recruiting, like I did a little experiment, and it was like one of the members, Miss Fontana, she's kind of like me, more spiritually guided. And I was like, hey, you would love Leo. But then and she went under Leo. But I guess in the future going forward, you could recruit members and then plug into the different Zooms with different builders in the company, and they might be more engaged with their style, right? Do you ever do that,
Absolutely.
like where you're at?
100%.
Because Leo, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I don't where all the content comes from, but like clockwork, every Monday, just go. I mean, it takes a lot of juice.
Yes.
So you do
Yes.
that too. You got like, because like I know I got Mr. Cali, Mr. Irvine, Mr. LA, and I could plug people into certain buckets, and then I got my little bucket, and they could still be under you and in the same organization.
Absolutely. So listen, we're all part of the same thing, right? EXP organizations. We have people that join our calls that are not in our EXP organization. We don't care. We just want people to connect and feel like they have a place to go, right? That's the only thing that really matters, is that there's connection and community and the opportunity for growth, right? So some
Right.
people may not connect with me. They may say, I don't like the way she teaches or coaches, right? But they may love Joseph.
Right.
Great. Love it. Go to Joseph's classes, right? So whatever it is that lets them connect to whomever it is. And as you get to know them, guys, as you get to know them, you're going to start feeling that out as you're having those conversations with them. You're going to be like steering a little bit of like, I feel like you would really connect. We do it with third-party validation calls. We determine who they might connect with the best with third-party validation calls. We'll say, oh, we'll have you talk with Leo, or oh, we'll have you talk with Casey, or oh, everyone knows here I'm a big systems nerd, so everybody puts them on with Selena. Like that's the third-party validation calls I get for the most part, right? Systems, processes, things like that. It all depends, because you're starting to feel out who that person might connect the most with. It doesn't matter as long as they're getting what they need, because you did a needs analysis.
Right. So from
Right?
the needs analysis, you could start being like, oh, I got this I could plug. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely. And making sure that they feel like they have that available, like, oh, look, go over here and see what classes are available here, and go over here and connect over here. Right now they're feeling heard, by the way.
Right.
Very important. They're feeling heard. Oh, they really get me. They understand, look at all of these options that I have. And they heard what I said, that this was important to me. And they've now connected me with these folks. Right? So that's what's important there. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. So then we have sometimes agents. These are agents who are very part-time. They only work with friends or family, right? Like that just every now and then, right? Really just doing like they're only generating income when it's convenient. Still agents, still not a bad thing. We still welcome them into the fold. Their needs are really just guiding them along, maybe doing top 50 sphere of influence. And from us, it's just, we teach classes on that. Absolutely. We do, making sure they have a business card and that they're still just getting out there and doing that. Again, for revenue share, that's one transaction every 6 months totaling $5,000 in GCI. So just consider it that way as far as that goes. But we want to keep them in there. And you can do a lot of business from referral and from friends and family. So you're just encouraging them to still do that, right? And talking to them about the fact that it's a low cap, right? You're talking low cap, you're talking things that are going to mean something to them, about what the low monthly fee is. So you're talking to things that are going to be important to them when they're only doing minimal transactions, right? You're not gonna blow up everything. They're probably not going to care about KV Core, right? It's not really going to be something that's going to be crazy important to them. You're not going to like blow their mind off with all of these crazy classes, because it's not going to be important to them either. You're going to have them plug into just a couple of things. They're doing friends and family. Don't vomit on them, but we still welcome them in. Okay, so totally still a useful use of agent attraction. Okay, this is where we really get into the ones that I feel like suck up all my time lately. Still very good though. New and inexperienced agents.
Oh.
I know everybody's like, Vanessa stuck her tongue out. I saw that.
Send it
Okay.
to Keller Williams and then stay in touch with them.
Don't say that. Okay. Don't say send them to Keller Williams. Okay. Definition, never before licensed or newly licensed, right? And then also inexperienced, meaning that they've been licensed for a while, but they've yet to close. And this is 5 or more. I'm going to say like 3 or more, because so few people close 3 or more these days. Guess what it says on needs analysis? Everything. Literally says everything. Okay, so okay, so these are the toughest, right? Because it's a time suck. But I have a lot of people who feel very strongly about new and experienced agents not being worth the time. Okay, now I'm going to tell you guys, it's a struggle, right? You know that they do take a lot of time. But I want you to consider the possibility that there could be a diamond in there, right? You could really have somebody who is just a go-getter. You know, we're going to have somebody soon on a Free Friday coaching call that I took as a cold call lead the other day from my cold calling company that we use. And it reminded me why I do this. I'm 28 years in real estate. And I was like, I got off the call and I sat back and I was like, this is why I still do it. This is why this kid, 7 months in real estate, 17 closed transactions. He's 24. And I was like, still happens. Still happens. This is why we do it. Right?
I think you just got to identify, in my opinion, with the new ones, like, do they know how to hustle? I mean, it's a pretty, I mean, I think that's like what I look for in people is like, can you hustle? And if you can and you could talk, you could plug them in, right? Do you think that's like a common thing to look for in new agents?
No. So let me tell you what we look for. And there are 4 things. Write them down. Hungry, humble, smart, and coachable. It's very rare to get all 4. Aim for 3. Okay. Hungry is the most important right now. I mean, hungry right now. I'm not going to say it's the most important, but when they are a new and experienced agent, you need them to want it so bad. You need them to want it so bad. They're not doing anything else. They want it like it's like there's nothing else, because it's really difficult in this business, right? Very difficult. They have to be so hungry for it that they're like that whole 30-hour work week thing. Okay, first of all, let's just all laugh about that together. Right. Because that's funny. But like they've got to be hungry. The humble part, in the beginning, they're going to be humble because they're so new and inexperienced, right? That's going to come very naturally. They're going to be scared. They're going to be nervous. Smart is going to be smart enough to learn it, to ask for help when they need it, right, in the beginning, and accept mentorship and guidance and coaching. And that coachable part is crazy important. They have to be willing to accept feedback. They don't accept the feedback, you have a very big problem. Like when they're making mistakes, you have to be able to say, let's course correct. Let's course correct. Here's what went wrong. If they are putting up their arms and they are fighting you on it, then you have a problem.
Right.
Okay. New and inexperienced agents, the reason that it can be very, very good is because, like Vanessa put it in there, their loyalty is unmatched.
Right.
Right. They are looking to you for guidance. It's hard, but we have great programs. We have the Fast Start program. They can get in there. They can jump on that. We have the mentor program that they're brand new. So they're getting a mentor during those first 3 transactions, right? We have more support than most people get. They get that in the workplace group. So they have extra support inside of that as well. We have a lot of options that can kind of pull them along. Plus, if you're their sponsor, I know it's a time commitment, but you're investing in them during that time frame as well. Now, if you're running a team It's an extra level of involvement, she says with disdain, because I have to do it too. But it can be amazing. You know, don't go into it with the mindset that it's all going to be awful, because there can be truly amazing people that come out of that. I had a woman that she was a brand new agent. This was in New York when I was running that team. And guys, she had been a stay-at-home mom for almost 20 years. She had 4 girls. And like yep, 4. I know, Anthony, 4. All deeply involved in sports and everything. She waited till the first one was getting ready to go to college. And she came in, she was a referral basically to our team by someone that we knew. And she came in and she said, they told me I should talk to you. I haven't worked in all these years. She had a very nice degree from a great college, but she never used it. And she said, I haven't worked. I've been just a stay-at-home mom. Right away, I could tell she was very smart, right? I mean, she's been managing 4 girls for all this time. And I was like, first of all, like, kudos to you. I've had 5 kids and like, it's a lot. So I was,
5?
yes, 5 and a grandbaby.
Your grandma?
Yeah, we don't use that word.
What do you do, yoga or Pilates?
I'm a yaya. My husband's Greek.
Wait, how old's your youngest?
My youngest is 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you do like, you work out every day? What's your routine? You don't?
I never work out. We digress. Anyway, she came to me and she said, I really want to get into real estate. And the reason was her husband was definitely supporting the family. She did not need to earn the money, but she did not want to take out one single student loan for college for her girls. And she said, I want to do this because I don't want to take out any student loans. I want to be able to pay cash. Now, remember, we talked about that kind of agent, right? It was like she didn't need it, but she had a very clear goal. Now, guys, for these kinds of agents, this is what I do. I sit down with somebody who comes in and tells me a very specific thing like that. And I was like, great, here's what we're going to do. How much money is the college your daughter wants to go to? Because we knew the first one, she was already in her senior year. She had just started. It was the beginning of the year. How much is college? I then swallowed really hard because it was $30,000 a year. And I was like, all right. And she was like, I just want to be able to save up for all 4 years if I can. I was like, great. $30,000 a year. Here's what it is. And then we figured out room and board. We figured out extras. We figured out all the things, right? Then we took into account exactly how much an average price point was in our market, because I track everything. So I knew what that was. I figured out our team splits. I figured out what she was going to owe the brokerage, exactly how much every check she was going to net was. And then we figured out how many houses she needed to sell in order to save that money. She loved it. I could tell right away that she was systems-based because, she raised 4 girls with all in sports, right? So I was like, great, we're speaking the same language. We sat down, we figured it out. She looked at that number and she was like, can you help me do that? Can you train me, teach me, and turn me into it? Because she was a buyer's agent. Make me into an incredible buyer's agent so that I can sell that many houses in 1 year. And I said, can you work full-time? And she said, yeah, I can work full-time. All my girls are in school. I was like, then let's go. Guys, she became our 2nd top producing agent in the first year. She was so focused on the goal and she was so good at what she did that she outpaced it. Now, by the way, all 4 girls are in college now. She's paid cash for all of it. All of it. So you have to speak the language that they're speaking. And you also have to determine, like, is there a goal that is like, and brand new, right? Brand new. Never sold a house before, never worked before. She'd never worked a job. That's even scarier, right? You have someone who's actually never worked because you're like, this could go very badly. This could be bad. But you look at the situation and you see, is there an opportunity? I saw something in her. She was hungry. She was humble. She was smart. And she was definitely coachable. You got to look at the situation and you say, what is it? Now, there are definitely people that I have recruiting calls with, and I'm like, oh, we are not a good fit. Like, we're not, that's okay. This will be the last time we talk. And that's okay too. They're not a good fit for your culture, your community, and you're not somebody that you want impeding on your time. Anybody here have that happen before? Okay, good. Anybody care to share how you handle that, or do you just let them go? Come on, Mo. I see you there.
I literally just don't ever call them back. No, I don't do that. No, I just I find I kind of no, just I think I just recommend, I prescribe at the end, I tell them, hey, look, seems based on what you're looking for, I'm honest with them. It's
Yep.
We can't offer that. You want 100% attention, and that's not how we work here. Or you get somebody that says, hey, I want to learn everything by day one, and I'm like, that's not me. So no, that's not a fit for us. So yeah, I'm just honest with people.
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes it's okay. You guys, it has to be okay. You have to realize that every person that you let into your space and that energy is going to take energy. And you have to decide what's okay and what's not.
So do you recommend just focusing on people that are just like just, a certain type, like your type, kind of like if you're a single person, date, like, for example, when I was single, looking for my wife, there's a type. I had a checklist. Like, I was dating for long enough. I was like 25 and I'm like, this is the type of female I want. So maybe develop like a checklist of what you want in an agent, because our time is our money. And the way I see it, it's almost like listings. It's like, I don't take buyers out because it devalues my time when I could just get more listings and double end them. So it's the same with like, maybe my agent attraction strategy is finding others of like kind and just stay consistent with that.
Yeah. You see how now you have a target.
Right.
Right.
I only want geo farmers and people that understand, the battle of local market share. And if they don't, it's like, well, you don't even understand the real estate business.
Yeah.
Right.
So the reason
Was that an extreme mindset?
Yeah. The reason I brought this up today is because every single person on this call brings something. Yes, Katie, thank you. Brings something different to the table. Right? So Anthony, you're going to have a certain kind of person that you're looking for, right? And Mo, you might have a different kind of person because of the kind of training that you offer, right? So not everybody is going to have the same kind of agent that they're attracting, because we all offer different things, whether it's in our community, whether it's a type of training that we offer, whether it's just the type of person that we are. Right? Everybody has something different. So the agent attraction is going to be different. And I highly encourage you to do it based on what feels very comfortable and energetic to you, versus being like, oh, I'm just going to attract everybody, because that's very complicated and it's very difficult. And it's very much the spaghetti against the wall kind of conversation, right? It's like, I'm just going to hope that everything works out. I'm just going to keep talking to everybody. And when you have a very specific target of who you're looking for, this is where it gets interesting. We take this one step further. You start actually looking for those people, and then you create an actual list. So my client that I mentioned at RE/MAX, when she started targeting in on who she was looking for inside of her brokerage, I then said, great, now you're going to make me a list of the top 10 people that fit that criteria that you know in your market that you want. And then you're going to put that list everywhere. And so she made it, and she had one really big one, like on the back of her door, and like giant Post-it note. And so it was the list of the 10 people. She had it at home on her bathroom mirror. She had it in her car. And the reason that we did this is because it was in her face. These were like her top 10. Like, if I could get them, it would be like a freaking amazing, massive win. Top 10 people. Like, her list was much bigger than that. We made a giant list of people, but these were like the top 10, like creme de la creme. If she got them, she would be like over the moon. Because she was seeing them every single day, she started to like constantly think of checking in with them, texting them, calling them, like being involved with them, to the point, and guys, you take it one step further, when you're going after someone like that specifically, and they are now top of mind all of the time, I tell you to take it one step further. Put them on your hot sheet on MLS. Every time they close a transaction, you text them. Follow them on social media. Start liking and favoriting, or, hearting and whatever, commenting on their social media page. Every time they put one in pending, every time they get a new active listing, if they're holding an open house, you go to it. All of those things, because now you are engaged with them in a different way. Okay. Now you've started to connect because they're seeing like, oh, they're really like paying attention to what I'm doing. Oh my goodness, right? Like that list for her, every time she would get one done, that giant piece of poster board, post-it note on the back of her door, she would send me a screenshot that she had like marked through it, and she's like, got him. And I like, and it was like a massive win. She would be like, she got them in, she talked to them, she didn't vomit. Don't vomit. She was speaking to what they needed. And by the way, she changed her training in her office to accommodate because she was targeting one very specific type of agent. These were high producers. She was going after high producers, that she wanted more high producers in her office. So she changed the actual training inside of her office to do more high level skills development. Most of what she'd been focusing on was lower agents that needed more help, like just sort of training up.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
So I believe like the basics are always the key, and just like geofarming, print, email marketing. And I was telling, Leo, so I became a Google business product expert, and I started literally, I'm the most powerful Google SEO company in the real estate industry. But I've got like this little email newsletter I send out just at random. Like I'll do one today. I do like one every week or 2 weeks, just email, right? But I have like an audience of 4,800 heavy hitter agents, and they open every single email because I drop Google business profile, SEO, generative AI, and YouTube like ranking hacks and like SEO hacks. But it's just all done via email. But they religiously open every email, and they're very engaged audience, and there's like just under 5,000 of them. They've been following me for like a couple years, but I'm not big on social media at all. But I've developed like this group, and I'm just trying to think like, I mean, I'm sure, I could offer a training, or just maybe the next step is just to call them like, hey, are you enjoying the newsletter? Because I'm selling like memberships that are brand agnostic, but I could probably come up with an a la carte menu where it's like, well, if you join my organization, I could give you this $2,500 SEO package for X amount. And then I could leverage that with my other guys in the Dream Chaser crew to do it too. But I guess my question is like, is an email database like that, like, is the next step to just call them?
I would.
Is that what you do? Do you call them?
Well, I think a voice call is much more powerful than just an email.
Right. So
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
Sorry, I'm in a Starbucks, so you guys get to see Starbucks. Sorry, that's really backlit. I have a similar, I do an email every week. Mine is more, excuse me, a motivational thing that I do, and I have like a 50% open rate. So I hold my list of in my group, and I have 800 realtors that are actively opening. So I just started making calls, and I asked for feedback, and and I just said, hey, how are you liking? I see that you're opening. I mean, they know because they're realtors. Like, hey, I see that you've opened the emails. Just any feedback on how I could make these emails more impactful, or it's some, want more of, want less of. And they were like, wow, thank you so much. And they give me whatever feedback there is. And then I transition into, so how's it going? How's your business? What's going on with you? And if it's appropriate, I schedule a next, and my favorite script is, are you open-minded to taking a look at why EXP is the fastest growing real estate company in the United States? Are you open-minded to it? And most people will say, very few people say, I'm not open-minded, but you just have to.
Are you open-minded? I like that. Are you
open-minded? Because it's like, hey, at the very least, you need to know about it because of the growth that we're having. It'd be valuable for you to know about it, even if we're in your, even if we're a backup offer. That's my other script I use a lot is, hey, just like you get a backup offer when you have a listing, I'd love to interview to be the backup offer for your brokerage if something changes down the road.
Okay, so I like that. So are you open-minded to learn more why EXP is the most
fastest growing? Yeah.
I'm gonna say most trusted and fastest growing cloud-based brokerage in the world.
Can I share something really quick? So what I found that has been successful, and 9 times out of 10 I get a reply, is Instagram video, a DM, or like a bomb video, showing your face, speaking to them, and giving them a custom message, not something generic. They always reply. They always hop on a Zoom call with me and Leo. So the video, the face to name works really, really well.
Love that,
Because
Craig.
everyone's getting crucified by the spam callers, you know, and spam texts. So you got to make it, yeah. So the phone call and like a video message, that makes sense. They'll bite back. I like the, you know, wanting feedback is key. Yeah. Most trusted.
You've got a big opportunity there, Anthony, for sure.
Well, because yeah, I mean, I just pulled on like, you know, Miss Bullhead City, Miss Lake Arrowhead, a few out in Tennessee, and you know, Mr. Franklin in Tennessee, and you know, Miss Oceans. I got some big heavy hitters, you know, with KW and Remax, and I mean, it'd be yeah, no, I know it's a deal. That makes sense. But the key is to call them, and I like the video personalized message, trusted and fastest growing. And I think what I'm going to say is, are you open-minded to learn why eXp is the most trusted and fastest growing cloud-based brokerage? And I think the most important part about eXp is the people, like you're saying. And because for me, it's just everyone that I've met in this organization has reinforced my mindset and elevated my confidence because of like the information I'm even getting now, you know, because everyone's so secretive in this industry, you know,
which is sad.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Okay. I have something to share.
Yeah.
So I'm brand new. I don't even have my license yet.
Welcome, Jill.
And they're backed up right now. So I don't even know when they're going to process it. Might be 6 more weeks.
See, we love new agents. I love new agents.
Yeah, completely starting, you know, a brand new career. And what I wanted to share is, you know, I had a career in personal and professional development. So I have lots of skill. And what I want to give you, what I've been taking on, because, you know, I'm bringing in agents even before I have my license. Okay. That's what I'm creating. And there's 7 billion people on the planet. Every single person, you know, we are at least 30 people a day if you're out and about, more, some less. Every single person for me is an opportunity for something, because they might know an agent. They might just remember me like, wow, you know. So it's like, I'm just like connecting with people and being great. And who I'm being is what they'll remember. And if there's some kind of connection, then, you know, I make sure they have my phone number. And I already have like 5 people that know real estate agents, and they're going to have them call me.
Right. You know, Brent Gove on the last Zoom from yesterday, what he said, he's a pretty heavy hitter in the organization. Your smile is your logo, personality is your business card, and how you leave others feeling after an experience with you is your trademark.
Yes.
That down.
Relatedness is like 95%. Yeah. Relatedness.
And once how do you make them feel?
Yes.
I love that, Jill. Well, welcome. We're so excited to have you. And
Thank
congratulations on bringing people in before you're even officially in.
Well, I haven't brought anybody in yet, and I have opportunities. You know, I just started.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And I love what you're saying. And I posted in there. It's like how you're being, not what you're doing. Like, get up every day and like, I did it this morning. I was complaining about something, and then I stopped and I was like, okay, stopping the complaining right this second. Like,
good.
Look at Laura laughing because she was there.
Kind of like being a parent. Like with my 3 daughters, I could talk till I'm blue in the face, but all that matters is what I do.
Yes.
So lead by example with the people.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a practice. Because, you know, I wake up into all kinds of thoughts, and I don't put my feet on the floor until I've created a possibility for the day.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, I hope what you guys are taking away from today is that when you're attracting, if you can really target in on who it is that you're looking for, right? You're really creating that thought process. What will happen, guys, and this is really what I want you to think about. When you when you have clearly defined that, you're going to find, like, it's, imagine you start looking for and you buy a yellow car. All of a sudden you see yellow cars everywhere. Same concept. Same concept. You start attracting, you've decided that your target is this very specific kind of agent. You're going to find that you're attracting that into your life. You're going to start having conversations with people, and that is what you start attracting in as a result of that, because you're having those kinds of conversations and you're talking to people, and those people are going to talk to people who are going to talk to people. And all of a sudden it's just coming into you because those are the kinds of conversations you're having. You're no longer vomiting everything about EXP onto everybody. You're having very specific conversations that are based on that person's needs, not your needs, not everybody's ever needs that they might ever have in the history of ever, but like that person's needs. And you're going to start attracting that around you. It's going to start happening because that person, especially if you're recruiting top producing agents, is going to have friends that are other top producing agents. That typically happens. They tend to hang out, right? And they're going to be like, you won't believe who I spoke to today. I spoke to Anthony and he said this, and he told me this about this. And now they're talking and they're like, you should talk to Anthony, right? Like, and that's going to just start to kind of trickle in. But this is the mistake that most people make, is they don't really have a target. They're just kind of out there willy-nilly, having all kinds of conversations everywhere and like hoping that this generic conversation is going to hit somebody and hope that it works. I want you to be specific. I want you to target the kind of people. And then I do want you to make a list. I want you to start going through. And if you don't know a list, if you don't know people, Jill, you're fairly new to this, guys, look them up in the MLS. Look them up by sales production. And be like, here we look them up by who's new. If you're targeting new agents, hey, I'm new. My name's Jill. I'm brand new. I'm looking for other new agents. Like, I'm trying to connect with other new folks. I just joined this company and I'm really excited because they teach me this, 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 and this. And I thought, hey, you're new too. You might be interested in the same thing, right? So you're looking up everybody who's new. That could be your target, right? You have to be very specific and strategic about how you're doing it. Anthony, it's just like geofarming. It's just a slightly different take on it.
Right. That's what I'm realizing.
I know. I could see your head working. I was like, oh, we're having a moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I just, I know how to pull on because all the top dog agents practice geofarming. It's not a secret. And I have their candy. I have exactly what I basically have their oxygen. Like, I know what they need. But I think the other key, what I realized, like, one of my members, Miss Upland, a Remax broker, it's got like 350 agents under her. We were pulling her over, but then, I kicked out the owners of Remax from my Facebook group, and they got pissed off about that. Then they assigned the new president, and then they send them in. See, the problem is when you're going to take down a brokerage, you got to be like a Navy SEAL now and really secretive, because once they catch wind, they just, they start lawsuits and fire missiles. And that's just for what it's worth. I mean,
it's delicate.
So you got to be like, so if you're taking down, a big brokerage, you got to be stealthy. That's what I've learned.
It's delicate.
Right? Is that what you think?
Yeah, it's delicate. If only we knew somebody who knew something about that. He's giving all the thumbs up signs.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, no, Leah and I, we experienced that together with one of our people there, but no, I mean, I'm gonna take down all the geofarmers.
See, you've got to see. Good.
Yeah, bro. Let's throw a webinar. Let's throw a webinar. Just invite them into a very personal webinar where you're gonna peel back the onion layer and go deeper. Hey, you're enjoying my newsletter. Let's jump on this webinar with me, because I'm going to do personal, training. Like, so we'll craft something out so we can target those 4,800 people that you have there.
And then I could just call them and then just, invite them out like a personal touch. Or I could have Jeff do it. I mean, I got a team that could do it. And then maybe just sending out an email. What about like an email blast? It's not as personal when it's like yeah, we got to get creative with this. No, my mind's just spinning. I know what to do.
You have homework. I love it. All right. So you all have homework. One, I want you to create who is your target, right? Define that specifically based on what we talked about today. And then two, I want you to start that list. Okay. Who is the list? Because when you start putting that list everywhere on those top 10 or however many it is, right? And you put it everywhere, that becomes what you think about. And those become the people that you're like, I am thinking about them. I'm going to connect with them. I'm going to follow them on social media. I'm going to send them a text. I'm going to check in with them. Like it becomes what you are thinking about regularly so that you are like in it, guys, like in it. Those are the kinds of things that you need to be thinking about. Oh, hello, there's Miss Casey Council Jiha. I'm wondering if she's earning, she might be.
Hey, Selena, I just want to add, I just want to say that what you are saying is absolute gold, like absolute gold. Like I seriously am so appreciative of this conversation and the way you broke it down in each category is so perfect. And I will tell you that what you're saying, I mean, because I took obviously the coaching of Casey and Rick, you know, that's exactly what they told me to do from day one. And I applied that specific. And then the thing is that even if it's not the exact people that you attract from the list, you start to easily identify other people that are just like them. You start to like really narrow it down. And that one list, honestly, I'm still working on it. Since I started, right? I'm still working on it. So what you shared today is absolute gold. I'm just so grateful for this conversation. So thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Leo. All right, guys, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate everybody contributing. Anthony, you have a lot of work ahead of you.
I know, I know, my mind's spinning. So yeah.
And I love that. Thank you everybody for participating. Jill, welcome. We can't wait to see what you do.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm gonna